just to be perfectly clear, my wife,
Seen here in a file photo.
she never ever wanted cattle on our farm. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, she likes the idea of cattle. She likes the animal itself. She just didn't specifically want to have cattle on our farm.
Look, you can see Amanda hug and kiss. She's still a little bit ostracized from the rest of the herd. She's eating the old hay from about 4 days ago. Meanwhile, the rest of the herd's eating the fresh hay that I gave them yesterday.
Don't worry, Amanda. I'm not getting up in your business. Don't worry. Now, you might ask, why was my wife opposed to having cattle here on our farm? Well, I actually think it was for some very good reasons. You see, cattle are big, and our cattle specifically have these long horns on the top of their head. If I didn't know as much as I did about their friendly and docile nature as Scottish Highland cattle, hey, Ariel, I would probably be terrified of them too. And while I was able to get my wife comfortable with the idea of raising cattle here on the farm and our need on the farm to have cattle, as much as she was opposed to the idea of having cattle on the farm, she was even more opposed to the idea of having a bull on the farm. And that too does make sense. I mean, a bull is bigger and stronger than our cows. A bull also has that testosterone that can make them a little bit more aggressive. And so for the first year plus of our farm, we did not have a bull here. Our cows arrived at the farm last year fully bred and ready to give birth, and they ended up giving birth back in the springtime. But now I have some open cows, and I need to figure out a way to get them pregnant. And over the last couple of months, I've actually been experimenting with artificial insemination, or AI. You guys didn't see this AI happening in a video because the folks who were doing the AI weren't comfortable with being on camera while doing this. But I'll use another form of AI to depict what it looked like when we tried to impregnate my cattle with AI. I know, isn't that crazy? And since that science project wasn't working, we decided that we needed to get a bull. Now, I had looked around at opportunities to get a bull, like an adult bull, here to our farm, and just there weren't really any available in our area. And I also knew that the bull genetics I wanted to bring onto my farm long term, I didn't want just like anything. I wanted like really good genetics. You know, I am really trying to build out a legit herd of Scottish Highland cattle, and so having a legit sire for my herd was a priority for me. And so after doing a bit of research, I ended up finding this farm actually here in Vermont who has the oldest registered fold of Scottish Highland cattle in the United States. It's a farm called Shat Acres. I know, but the family name is actually Shatnian, so that's how they got that name. Be nice in the comments. And as our longer time viewers know, last summer I ended up putting a deposit on a bull calf, and he's coming to our farm. Now, this bull calf was specially selected because he's very, very sociable, he's very, very friendly, and he's very easy to handle. I remember when I went to first visit him, I don't know, and he was like about, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks old, he came up to me and just started immediately eating my pants. And so to me, that's a good sign. And I've gone back and visited him a couple of times. But my wife remains very skeptical of the idea of having a bull here on our farm. And while she did go to a fair with me a few months back to go visit and meet with the bull calf, I wouldn't really categorize it as quality time that she spent with him. Hey Ariel, are you checking out Ginny Barncat? Are you curious about her? So yesterday, my wife and I, we actually went on a little field trip and we headed on over to Shat Acres. Hey, buddy. And we had a nice visit with Ray and Janet, who are the proprietors of the farm. And we got to spend a lot of really good quality time with Randy Macho Man Savage. Not the wrestler, our bull calf's name is actually Randy Macho Man Savage. And it was a lot of fun visiting with him. Randy remains the most sociable calf I have ever seen. Like, we got in there and got in a stall with him, and we were able to like brush him and pet him, and he loved being scratched underneath his neck.
Scratching you right in the spot there, huh, buddy?
He says, forget about the camera, just my neck. It's right there. Nobody getting it right there.
You know, he's like, little help, little help.
It was an absolutely incredible experience. Hey, Belinda Carlisle. How's it going, sweetie? I'm still working on socializing with my calves, but I think things are getting actually a little bit better. As you can see here, Joey Ramone and Belinda Carlisle ran right over to me. Hi, Jimi Hendrix. I'll give you a treat too. Don't worry. They're still not all that excited about me brushing them, but I continue to work on them. I think the biggest thing is just spending the time with them and getting that connection is really what's going to help tame these calves and get them to a place where they're going to be very good animals around the farm. They're still not quite Randy Macho Man Savage level of tame, but they're getting so much better. I don't know if you guys remember this, but this summer these calves were the most skittish creatures, and these days they're doing pretty good. They're pretty chill. And also, in case folks are wondering, Joey Ramone has definitely fully recovered from his surgery. You don't need to be afraid of this brush here, Belinda. It's totally cool. You know, one of the things I'm most impressed with Ray and Janet's farm is just how docile and relaxed their calves and really all the animals on their farm are. When I think about like my goals for my farm and my goals for my cattle herd, seeing what their cattle are like absolutely is an aspiration for me here on our farm. I know, Joey Ramone, believe me, eventually I'm gonna be able to brush you. I am certain of it. You too, Belinda. Jimi Hendrix, I'm not so sure about you, buddy. Would you look at these two large white farm dogs just sleeping out here in the snow? You know, you guys, I get an awful lot of YouTube hate comments about people who are mad that I let you guys live outdoors. I mean, let's be very clear, they have a gigantic dog barn that they could use at any time, but they genuinely prefer to be outside and in the snow, particularly on a day like today where it's like 30 degrees and snowy. Like, that's their favorite weather. But I do think that the trip to the Shatney farm yesterday was really good for Allison because number one, gave her a chance to get closer to Randy the Macho Man Savage. But number two, I think seeing how the Shatney farm worked actually allayed some of her fears of what like a Scottish Highland bull could be like.
So right here, he can't see. He has a blind spot because his eyes are set so far apart. He can see me here, but I tell people do not approach them right to their face. It's not like a dog. It's so hard. Everybody wants to come up, and even with the big animals, they put their hand out like a dog, and they want them to smell their hand. First thing they're going to do is swing their head so they can see them.
Yeah.
So we really teach people to approach from the hip. It's much more safe for the person, and it feels safer to the animal.
You know, for example, while we were at the Shatney farm, we were able to visit with Randy Macho Man Savage's father. And I gotta say, he was a pretty chill and docile dude. And Ray Shatney's able to just lead him around and take him wherever he wants to. When I think about my aspiration for Randy Macho Man Savage and the relationship I wanna have, it really is very similar. Now, I know a lot of folks are gonna be wondering, when is the bull calf gonna get here? I have seen a few folks in the comment section complaining about the fact that this has been like a 6-month process. But quite honestly, I feel like acquiring livestock, particularly key breeding livestock, it requires a lot of patience and planning. Isn't that right, Lady Abington? Yes, I have learned some lessons over the last year. And so the plan has never been to rush bringing him here. And I can tell you guys that he will be coming to the farm very, very soon. As you guys know, our calves are still going through the weaning process, but luckily the weaning process has gotten much easier at this point. I don't think I've heard a single bellow from either the calves or the moms over the course of the recording of this entire video. And yes, you do have Bonnie McMurray right here trying to commune with her mother Ariel on the other side of the fence. But at this point, it seems like she's just looking for a friendly visit, and not that she's a kid who just got dropped off at daycare and is dying for her mommy. But even though things have gone very well, I still need probably another 3 or 4 weeks of the calves separated out from the moms in order to ensure that I don't have a situation where the moms start producing milk again. Because my plan is to dry them off, get them ready, because later this spring and into the summer, I want to be breeding them for future calves. But once these calves are weaned, I'll take down this fence that's right here, let them intermingle with their moms over here, and then I'm gonna use this area as a holding pen for Randy because I wanna make sure he has another week or two of acclimation once he arrives here at the farm. The other thing that's gonna happen before he arrives here at the farm is the fact that Jimi Hendrix is gonna need to go away because I really do wanna have Randy be the only intact male on the farm to avoid any sort of fighting or problems.
A lot of people do run more than one bull at a time. It's an accident waiting to happen. Particularly with Highlands, you're going to end up with a broken horn. You're going to end up with somebody hurt. But we've usually got 30 to 40 at the most adult mamas, and a mature bull is fine with that.
You know, one of the things that Janet has taught me really is if you only have one bull, you have many fewer bull problems. And really for a good chunk of our future, I really do hope to have Randy as the only bull on the farm. Now, the other question about cattle that I know I've received a lot lately is, when is the white mama cow and her calf arriving at the farm? And the only answer I can give you guys to that one is soon. You see, because we've had such a weird like mud season suddenly here during our Vermont winter, we've actually been unable to transport her. The pasture where she's living right now is just completely mushy and mucky and muddy, and we can't get a livestock trailer and a tractor out to her. Really, it's just gonna be a matter of patience where we're gonna keep waiting for as long as we can hoping that the ground firms up and refreezes. And when that happens, young Ginny Barn Cat, we'll end up bringing her here to the farm. So yeah, there's a lot of cattle comings and goings, but I'm excited about what it means for the future of our farm. And for those who are wondering, my wife Allison absolutely loved the visit with Randy Macho Man Savage, and she's very happy that he's coming to the farm. And I even think she might be a little bit excited. So you guys are gonna just have to stay tuned and hit that subscribe button, and I'll be back with another video real soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.